Okay.
She just took the day off.
All right. Good morning, Corporal Jones. Sir, Mark, you're doing well. We're here for first appearances, ladies and gentlemen. It's 8:30, February 12th. Corporal Jones, have you had a chance to play the first appearance video there at the jail?
Yes, sir, I have.
Great. Ladies and gentlemen, there are two attorneys involved in first appearances every day. I'm Wade Mercer. I'm the county judge, by the way. The first attorney is Mr. John McDaniel. He's already at the jail and spoken to those of you scheduled for first appearance. The second attorney is the prosecutor, Ms. Jeffcoat, today. She's in the courtroom, and I want to make sure that you can see and hear her. So I'm going to ask that she introduce herself.
This is Shayla Jeffcoat, Assistant State Attorney.
And Corporal, can you see and hear both of us?
Yes, sir, we can.
Great. We do have one person that needs the services of an interpreter, Juan Zuniga. Good morning, Mr. Ricardo.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning, Mr. Ricardo. If you'd please introduce yourself to Mr. Zuniga and make sure he can hear you, sir.
Señor Zuniga, yo soy Jordani Ricardo, intérprete para que se pueda comunicar con el juez. ¿Me escucha bien?
Sí,
He can hear me, Your Honor.
sí.
Great. Mr. McDaniel, were you able to communicate with him without an interpreter, or do you need me to start? If you have? Okay. Mr. Zuniga, I'm going to tell you that you've been accused of one count of driving without a valid driver's license.
Señor Zuniga, le voy a decir que a usted se le ha acusado con un cargo de no tener licencia de conducir válida.
There is probable cause in the complaint, and I'm going to appoint the public defender's office to represent you.
Hay causa probable en la denuncia y le asigno al abogado de oficio para que lo represente.
Please listen to your attorney, Mr. McDaniel.
Por favor, escuche a su abogado, el señor McDaniel.
Your Honor, I spoke to Juan. At this point in time, he's going to plea of no contest to the charge as listed. Your understanding, he'll be sentenced to 10 days in the county jail. He'll have 2 days jail credit.
Su señoría, he hablado con Juan. En este momento, él va a contestar no me opongo a los cargos según se le acusa, entendiendo que se le va a condenar a 10 días en la cárcel con crédito por 2 días.
However, he does have the option to purge the remainder of the jail sentence by paying the sum of $400 and be released from jail after 12 p.m.
Sin embargo, él tiene la opción de purgar el resto de la condena pagando $400 y se le dejaría salir después de las 12 p.m.
That would give immigration time to see if they want to ask for a detainer on Juan.
Eso le daría a inmigración tiempo para ver si ellos quieren pedir una orden de retención para Juan.
He has signed his waiver, plea waiver, waiving his right to a jury trial and call witnesses.
Él ha firmado la hoja de renuncias, renunciando a su derecho a un juicio y a llamar a testigos.
Thank you, Mr. McDaniel. Ms. Jeffcoat, is that agreeable with the state?
It is, Your Honor.
Gracias, señor McDaniel. Señorita Jeffcoat, ¿está de acuerdo el Estado o lo está su señoría?
Mr. Zuniga, did you hear that agreement?
Señor Zuniga, ¿escuchó usted ese acuerdo?
Sí,
Yes.
Do you have any questions about that agreement?
¿Tiene alguna pregunta acerca de ese acuerdo?
nada más quería ver si podía llamar a alguien para poder pagar el dinero. O que
I
si me
just
dejan
want-
checar de mis cosas, chequear mis cosas para poder pagar el dinero.
I just wanted to see if I could call someone to pay the money or to check my things to see if I can pay the money.
You will get to use the phone after first appearance, sir.
Le van a permitir usar el teléfono después de la comparecencia inicial, señor.
Is this the plea you would like to
Yes,
enter to
sir.
resolve this case?
¿Es este el acuerdo que desea aceptar para resolver este caso?
Sí, está bien.
Yes, it's fine.
Okay, I'm going to accept the plea of no contest to the charge of no valid driver's license and withhold adjudication of guilt.
Acepto su contestación de no me opongo ante el cargo de no tener licencia de conducir válida. Le suspendo el fallo de culpabilidad.
I'm going to find the plea is free and voluntarily entered with the advice of counsel.
Determino que ha aceptado el acuerdo libre y voluntariamente con consejos de un abogado.
Mr. Zuniga, the waiver of rights form you signed waives your right to a trial.
Señor Zuniga, el formulario de renuncia de derechos que usted firmó renuncia a su derecho a un juicio.
It also waives your right to call and cross-examine witnesses at a trial.
También renuncia a su derecho a llamar y contraexaminar testigos en un juicio.
I'm going to sentence you to 10 days in jail with credit for 2 days you've already served.
Lo condeno a 10 días en la cárcel con crédito por 2 días que ya ha cumplido.
I'm going to impose a fine of $400.
Le impongo una sentencia o una multa de $400.
But you can purge that sentence and be released upon the payment of that fine of $400 at any time before the sentence is completed.
Pero puede purgar el resto de la sentencia pagando la multa en cualquier momento antes de que la sentencia se haya cumplido.
Because you appear to have prior immigration activity on your criminal history, you will be held until noon today.
Como parece que usted ha tenido alguna actividad de inmigración en sus antecedentes penales, se le va a mantener detenido hasta el mediodía hoy.
So if you make the purge immediately after first appearance, you'll still be held until noon to see if they place a detainer on you.
Así que si usted paga la purga ahora mismo después de la comparecencia inicial, de todas formas se le va a mantener detenido hasta el mediodía a ver si ellos dan una orden de retención para usted.
But if you make the purge, there's no detainer on you at any point after noon, you'll be released.
Pero si usted paga la purga y no se da la orden de retención, en cualquier momento después del mediodía se le permite salir.
And you will get use the phone in just a few minutes.
Y en solo unos minutos se le va a permitir usar el teléfono.
Do you have any questions?
¿Tiene alguna pregunta?
No, está bien.
No, it's fine.
Have a good day, sir.
Que tenga buen día, señor.
Gracias, igualmente.
Likewise, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ricardo.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Have a good day. We have Lavender Griffin. Mr. Griffin, good morning. You're here because you've been accused of one count of dealing in stolen property. Mr. Griffin, there is probable cause for the charge in the complaint. And Mr. Griffin, I'm going to set you a bond, but I want to see if the attorneys have any additional information before I set that bond. Mr. McDaniel, anything on behalf of Mr. Griffin?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Jeffcoat, anything on behalf of the state?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Mr. Griffin, I'm going to set your bond at $15,000 cash or surety. You've got a condition, no contact at all with the alleged victim, which is the JCARC business. So no contact with them, but you have the right to post the bond. It's cash or surety. Surety means you can go through a bondsman, Mr. Griffin. If you want to go through a bondsman, that's entirely up to you. And you will get to use the phone in a few minutes to contact friends or family or a bondsman. Mr. Griffin, do you have any questions?
Yes, sir.
Wish you the best, sir.
Charles.
Charles Noel. Mr. Noel, good morning. You're here because you've been accused of one count of aggravated battery. Mr. Noel, there is probable cause for the charge in your case. And Mr. Noel, I have read the complaint. I've also looked at your criminal history. I saw that you've been to prison at least once, I believe. So I'm familiar with that. Mr. Noel, let me see if the attorneys have any additional information. Mr. McDaniel?
I don't have anything, Your Honor.
Thank you. Ms. Jeffcoat?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Noel, this is a second-degree felony that you're accused of. And based on the injuries and the criminal history, I'm going to set your bond at $25,000. Cash or surety, no contact with Miss Green, the alleged victim. So if you post bond, Mr. Noel, you can have no contact with her. You're entitled to use the phone, and you can go through a bondsman. It's cash or surety. Mr. Noel, any questions?
No, sir.
Have a good day, sir. Tor Owens. Ms. Owens, good morning. You're here for first appearance. You're accused of one count of fleeing or attempting to elude at high speed. This is also a second-degree felony, Ms. Owens. Familiar, I read the complaint. There is probable cause. Also looked at your criminal history. And Ms. Owens, let me see if the attorneys have any additional information that I may not be aware of. Mr. McDaniel?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Jeffcoat?
No additional information, Your Honor.
Ms. Owens, your bond's also going to be $25,000 cash or surety because it's a second-degree felony and because of the allegations of the speed which you were supposedly going, endangering the public and yourself. So it's cash or surety, ma'am. You can go through a bondsman. Ms. Owens, I don't know if this has affected your driver's license or not. Your only special condition is not to drive a motor vehicle unless you have a valid driver's license. If you have a valid license, you can drive. If this has somehow affected that, or if you don't have a license for any reason, you can't drive a motor vehicle. Ms. Owens, any questions?
No, sir.
Have a good day, ma'am. We have Brandon Phillips. Mr. Phillips, I saw you this weekend and set you a bond you've not been able to make that bond, I'm assuming. Is that right?
That is correct, Your Honor.
So Miss Jeff Coat, I know that you didn't have him this weekend. Miss Bremer did. Mr. Phillips has no prior history, right, Mr. Phillips?
That is correct. Not once.
Has a job. Where do you work at?
The Family Dollar Distribution Center in Mariana.
It's an Alec. Have you had a chance to look at the complaint, Ms. Shefcoat?
I just saw it in here, but I did not.
It's one of those cases that it meets the definition of burglary with a battery, but from a practical perspective, it's common in some cases for the state not to pursue that such a high degree crime for these circumstances. He allegedly suspected a neighbor of stealing his property. Allegedly, he entered their residence and refused to leave. And there was an altercation inside the residence, according to the complaint. So, Mr. McDaniel, I wanted him brought back up because he has a job and he has no history, because I wanted you to have a chance to talk to you to see if there's any other possibilities, if he could make a cash bond, and if so, what the state's thoughts were on that. Mr. McDaniel, any ideas or suggestions?
Your Honor, he would ask for a cash bond. I don't think he's going to be able to come up with 2,500, but he may within a month or so. But let me ask him what he thinks he can come up with.
I need to be able to.
Okay, Your Honor, he thinks he may be able to come up with $1,000 when he gets paid, within the next week or so from his job. But
I hope I don't lose the job either.
Ms. Jeffcoat, what's the state's position, ma'am?
Your Honor, the state doesn't have an objection to a cash bond. We would ask, I'm sure the court's already ordered no contact with the victim or their property. He needs to call the law if he thinks there's a.
The other thing that I did ask that I know you're probably wondering is because they're neighbors, I asked about separate driveways, and Mr. Phillips told me they had separate entrances to their residences. So it should be easier to have no contact with them than if they use a common driveway. Mr. Phillips, am I correct that you have separate entrances, correct? Separate driveways, right?
That is correct, Your Honor.
Mr. Phillips, I'm gonna set your bond at $1,000 cash only. Under the circumstances, still has a condition, no contact with the alleged victim or their property. Now, since your bond has changed, you have the right to use the phone to contact friends or family to try to post the bond. If you can post it, you'll be released. If you can't post it, you'll be there until your next court date, unless the judge modifies that bond. And if you can post it tomorrow, the next day, then you'll be released. Hopefully, you'll be able to post it and get back to work. Just stay away from the alleged victims. Mr. Phillips, any questions?
When is the next court date?
The state has 40 days to charge you, and then once you're charged, you're put on a docket. So in all likelihood, your next court date very well could be in March, but it likely will be the first Tuesday in April, depending on how long the state takes to charge you. And again, they have 40 days from the date of your arrest. Any other questions?
No, Your Honor.
All right, sir. Have a good day. Let's see. We have Jamal Lee. Mr. Lee, good morning. You were brought back from the weekend to be made an offer and let you talk to an attorney in private. So I'm going to, I've already appointed the public defender's office to represent you for first appearance purposes. Please listen to Mr. McDaniel, your attorney.
Your Honor, I spoke to Mr. Lee. At this point in time, he's going to plead no contest to the charges as listed, with the understanding he'll be sentenced to 10 days in the county jail. There'll be a $370 fine. He'll have 4 days jail credit. He has signed his plea waiver form, waiving his right to jury trial and call witnesses.
Thank you, Mr. McDaniel. Ms. Jeffcoat, that agreeable with the state?
It is, Your Honor.
Mr. Lee, did you hear that agreement?
Yes, but I didn't know about the fine, but okay.
It'll be a civil judgment against you if you don't get it worked off. Hopefully you'll get it worked off at the jail, but if you don't, there'll just be a civil judgment. It's not going to affect your release date at all. Any other questions?
No.
And is this what you want to do? Is this the plea you would like to
Yes,
enter?
I don't want to wait till the next court date. No, sir. No.
Okay. Mr. Lee, I'm going to accept your plea of no contest to the charges of disorderly intoxication and petty theft. The judge is guilty, sentence you to 10 days in jail. I'm going to find that plea is freely and voluntarily entered. With the advice of counsel, Mr. Lee, the waiver rights form you sign waives your right to a trial. It also waives your right to call and cross-examine witnesses. I'm going to adjudicate you guilty of these 2 misdemeanor offenses. I'm going to sentence you to 10 days in jail, but you have credit for 4 days you've already served. I'm going to impose a standard court costs and fines of $370. That'll be reduced to a civil judgment if you don't get it worked off. Mr. Lee, you have at most 6 days Under Florida law, you may actually get 1 day knocked off of that for good behavior if you follow the jail's rules. So it's possible you'll be out in 5 days. But there's no probation involved in this case. You finish this short jail sentence and you move on. Mr. League, any questions?
No.
All right, sir. Wish you the best. We have Randy Southwell.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Southwell, good morning. I saw you this weekend, and you're being brought back today to talk to Mr. McDaniel and also see where we stand in your cases. Please listen to your attorney, Mr. McDaniel.
Your Honor, I spoke to Mr. Southwell in case number 2446 MM and in the new case violation of injunction this weekend. He's going to enter a plea of no contest to both charges, both cases. Be sentenced to 11 months, 29 days jail with public works that run concurrent. He'll have 4 days jail credit. There'd be a $370 fine on each case. He has signed his plea waiver form, waived his right to jury trial and call witnesses.
And Ms. Jeffcoat, is that agreeable with the state?
It is, Your Honor.
Mr. Southwell, did you hear that agreement, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Southwell, do you have any questions about that agreement?
No, Your Honor.
And Mr. Southwell, is that the plea that you would like to enter to resolve these pending charges?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Southwell, I'm going to accept your plea of no contest and 2 counts of violation of injunction for protection. The judge, you're guilty of both offenses. I'm going to sentence you to 11 months and 29 days in the county jail. I want to find that your plea is freely and voluntarily entered with the advice of counsel. You've got credit for 4 days you've served. The 2 sentences are concurrent, so they're running at the same time. 370 court costs and fines imposed in each case. And Mr. Southwell, I am recommending you for the Public Works Trustee Program in these cases. That's important because that could get you quite a bit of gain time by working at the jail or through the jail. Can get you quite a bit of extra gain time and help you get out early. Mr. Southwell, there's no probation involved in this case. Mr. Southwell, I'm concerned that when you do finish this sentence, sir, unless you get that drinking under control, we're just going to be seeing you again. So I just be aware of that. That's a concern I have, Mr. Southwell. I need you to, the family and friends all say that you're a fantastic guy, but you get to drinking, you don't act as rationally as you do when you're not drinking. Mr. Southwell, do you have any questions, sir?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Southwell, I wish you the best, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, sir. Mr. McDaniel, I think the other cases, I arraigned all those VOPs this weekend. Since I had them this weekend, I went ahead and arraigned them. So I think that's it, unless I'm missing somebody.
That's all we got, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Corporal or Sergeant, anything from the jail?
No, sir, that's everything.
Ms. Jeffcoat, anything from the state?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes first appearances then. It is 8:48. We're through with first appearances and court's adjourned.
Don't forget about jail lunch today,
11:30.
11:30.